Hi, I'm Chuck Lowry, Director of Sales and Marketing at Incisive Legal Intelligence, and I'm here with Mark Medice of Hildebrand Consulting, and we're going to do a couple of little vignettes. Are these interesting enough to be vignettes?
I don't know. We'll have to make sure we're a Saturday Night Live skit or something, Chuck.
We're going to do a couple of vignettes about situations in the legal profession. One of the things I want to talk about, because Mark and I are both sort of in the research end of the business, and law firms and legal departments use a lot of the materials that we produce for benchmarking purposes. One of the things I want to talk about is diversity a little bit. And the specific impetus to this was given by the fact that this year, for the Incisive Media Diversity Scorecard, which is published in the Minority Law Journal and picked up in the American Lawyer every year, there's a very important methodological change. Up to now, to get a diversity score and a diversity ranking, it's merely been a mathematical exercise. You divide the US-based attorneys by the number of minority attorneys, partners and associates both, you get a ranking and a percentage. This year, the editors of the Minority Law Journal have determined that, and I think this is something that's been a long time coming, that encouragement, support, retention, and promotion is as important as the initial hire. So this year, the ranking and percentage is going to be calculated in a different way, which is that your first number is going to be the traditional number. Number of US-based attorneys divided by number of minority attorneys. In addition, you'll get a second score added to the first score, which will be number of US-based attorneys divided by number of minority partners. In effect, minority partners are going to count twice on the diversity scorecard.
Excellent.
And sort of to emphasize the impact that this change might have, I thought Mark could talk to us a little bit about how important diversity is to in-house law departments when they assess law firms, how they measure it, whether this is something that is an internally driven thing or comes to them from the board.
Gotcha.
And I've already taken up most of our 5 minutes, but...
Well, I can speak to that from the heart, and I think my general sentiment, Chuck, about diversity is diversity works. And it works because it brings forward some of the best and brightest minds and the best and brightest perspectives. And you know that diversity is starting to become taken seriously when you see diversity measurements start to become much more refined and much more reflective of true positive outcomes in terms of the ultimate effect. Whether that comes from the board at this point or whether it's coming from their own volition, I'm not sure I can speak to directly, but I do know that diversity is really getting past the point of simply having to follow through on a process that was directed towards one and recognizing that it has positive effects. If we look at the relationship between corporations and their law firms, diversity has a place both in the composition of the legal departments as well as the way they're going about selecting outside counsel in many respects. And it's often part of the process of the RFP process when they're selecting law firms. There's often a review or a periodic review about understanding exactly what that breakdown is. And as you say, it's not a function of an absolute percentage of minority candidates or other candidates to the total, but it's also a reflection of from the top of the firm to the bottom of the firm, or the top of the corporate department, or to the to the junior associates or the junior counsel, how this is all playing out. So, and again, if it didn't work, if it didn't produce a more effective result for the law firm or for the corps, I think people wouldn't be as enthusiastic about it. But the great thing about it, without regard to where the impetus came from, is that I think they're recognizing that in fact it works very soundly.
Great, thank you very much, Mark. Just wanted to talk about diversity for a little bit because of what is really a monumental change in the methodology of our diversity scorecard. Mark Medice from Hildebrand Consultants. I'm Chuck Lowry. We're going to do 1 or 2 more sessions, so stick around.